Hey guys, this is Jamie. So today I want to talk about, I guess, a thing which just made the news yesterday, and it's specifically NaNoWriMo. So I participated in NaNoWriMo for I don't know how many times. I've won I don't know how many times, to be honest, and it is something that I really enjoyed back in the day, and I actually did go to a meeting, sort of like those meetup things to write, and I even had an NaNoWriMo sticker, and I actually have it on my, not this laptop, not the previous, but the one before that. I have a sticker on it from there. And NaNoWriMo was a very important part of, I guess, my year, because it would be when I would focus on writing, and writing got me a long way, and it is a skill I value. I still write fan fiction, which you can find, I believe, in my links below. And in general, it's a thing that brings me joy. It helped me job-wise. I enjoy writing. I'm not specifically a writer per se right now, but yeah, it's something I enjoy, and I took creative writing courses as well. Anyway, so it is something that was close and dear to my heart, but obviously as the controversies came in, I no longer really associate with it. I don't really feel a certain affinity as I used to, and also as time went on, kind of life gets in the way, and I didn't have the, rather I don't have the means to, or the capacity to do 50K in a month. So I do remember, like, when they changed the websites and the forums were different, and that was already like everyone was bailing already. No one really liked the forums, the modding was weird, and then the moderation got even worse, and we had different non-scandals in Nano, and that's when shit really hit the fan. No one was really obviously associating with it. They didn't do a good job of covering it. And recently they came to the news that someone asked them, how do you feel about writers using AI? And when it comes to AI, it is somehow a very sensitive topic and controversial. To put it plainly, I do not see it as a massive technological innovation as the tech people do, and I do not see it as much of a threat as people make it to be. So my stance on it factually is that it is not as innovative, and neither it is as harmful. But because people are fighting over it, and people specifically from the tech sphere have been, or people with a more mathematical brain, have been using it as an excuse to, like, write texts, write homework, and write certain things where a person should be judged for by themselves rather than their ability to use a computer for, that is where I reach the bar. So that is, like, for instance, I think it's fine to ask something to explain to you. Like, I used it in the beginning to sort of understand certain concepts I wouldn't understand, and lessons I didn't understand. Eventually I stopped using it because I felt like I don't want to support this. But I see its merit, but again, because people have gotten so much into fighting about it, I feel like we're all sort of forced into the side of, is it good, is it bad, do we support it, do we not? So I just had to go into the not support camp, because I do feel like people abuse it too much. And then it goes into certain things like people stop enjoying art, people stop certain things, and specifically when it comes to art, I'm very elitist, factually, and I do understand that I should stop being as elitist, but I do feel like I understand there's digital art, but I still, in my head, I still see it sort of like a tier lower than something you do by hand. And that's because I went to art school, so I'm kind of very picky about that. So it only makes sense that I'm judging sort of like books which would be written by AI or are written on Amazon, actually. And so I feel the same way about drawings. So I am very, very strict about these things. Like, even when it comes to specific drawings, I still feel like it's a way of cheating through skills. But that's because this is my opinion. I understand that it's wrong, but it's just how I feel. I feel like if you want to be a proper artist, you need to know how to work with oil painting, acrylic, like certain methods with graphic pencils, etc. So I am very picky, unless you're specifically like a digital artist, but then I wouldn't call it art, I would call it digital art. I don't see graffiti specifically as art under like I get very elitist about these things and very picky. So I apply the same to AI. It's not something that was produced from scratch by a person, therefore it shouldn't really be something that is equated to something that is produced from the ground up. And yeah, that is sort of like my own shtick, that is my own brainworms, whatever. And so then NaNoWriMo released a statement saying that they believe that people who judge AI are being ableist and classist. First of all the fancy AI tools are paid. So that it instantly eliminates the whole classist thing, because why are you saying that it's a classist thing if it is just only available to a certain class who can pay, who can do those services, who get those services, which is a monthly payment, if I remember correctly. So I don't even know how this argument even got to classicist, because it's not like poor people use it in order to try and do something that people from upper classes do. And even if specifically, like let's say hypothetically, someone is requiring the AI skills or AI to write them something because they don't have, let's say, access to good education, it still doesn't exactly make sense. Like, I'm really trying to stretch my minds, and let's say hypothetically they do, but then they could also not use it. And is there even an increase of people who have less education who use AI? I'm not sure. I mean, if there is data, sure, but I've not heard of that ever. And then this one that it really irked me was the ableist one. So when it comes to ableism, I do want to say that mostly who we see people who do use AI are not people who are lacking a certain function or a certain who have a certain disability who does not allow them to do something. AI is pretty much a mashup of every Google search result. AI is factually right now in a state, it's a Google search engine only fine-tuned and took a bunch of examples from everyone. And it is unethically taking everything thing without asking for permission and mashing it up into an art concept, for instance, when it comes to like the DALI thing. So let's say hypothetically someone wants to draw something, but it is a very weird idea, sort of like it's giving people the opportunity to draw, but let's go for that one, I guess. If it is giving people the opportunity to draw who don't want to draw, I mean, they're still, DALI is paid. You need to pay for that. So you could easily get an artist, you could pay them to do digital art for you. You can also choose from the vast amounts of pictures on the internet to say something like, let's say you want spaceman, there's stock photos which you can pay for, there's photos which are free, so free to use, I mean, so it doesn't really make sense either. And ableist, if it comes to writing, again, if you're not making it from scratch by yourself, it's not art, it's not your work. Just because you did a command doesn't mean that it's your thing, and I really feel like we need to really draw on that. When it comes to certain things, I still feel like we need a human touch, and in order to consider things art, it needs to be done to a decent extent by someone. And this is where I feel that people from the tech industry don't understand, and where they sort of put a bit more emphasis on things moving forwards. And in general, I feel like right now we have a really, really massive sort of debates when it comes to the big tech bro companies are sort of, they're growing, or they're not growing right now, rather they're losing money from AI, so they've been pushing more. They've been saying, you know, we need more resources, we need more of this is innovation, and people are getting really frustrated because, well, no one really wants their work to be used when they're getting paid for it. So in a way, we're not really replacing the tech bro heads who are doing these decisions with AI. Instead, we're replacing people who are drawing, who are writing with AI. And if the people who are doing that labor do not agree with it, then it's something that you need to discuss among themselves, among these two groups. And like, for instance, I don't think AI will steal like screenwriters, for instance. But it was discussed, people did feel like it was discussed, it came to a conclusion, it won't be used in screenwriting. So I do feel like, obviously, it's not up to every person to decide. I mean, it's for the script writers to decide what they feel comfortable with in their union and etc. So it really depends, because everyone can speak only from their fields, and that's what I feel like needs to be happening and needs to be heard. So yeah, like, for instance, as a psychologist, I would not be comfortable with people asking AI on like how to overcome PTSD, for instance. So yeah, and yeah, like, God forbid, like, someone would be asking me to like I don't know, write some research paper with AI. Like, that's just not gonna happen. So yeah, and it's really strictly forbidden as well. So that's pretty much it, what I want to talk about today. I also wanted to say that I really appreciate that, despite me taking 2 weeks off because I was completely destroyed from everything, I've been getting support, and I really appreciate it. I've been getting views, and it's very, very humbling. It's very nice. I really appreciate it. I appreciate people sharing my videos. I see that in my well, information page, whatever. So thank you very much for doing that. Also, if you like this video, please feel free to share, discuss it with your friends, start a conversation if you want to, with whomever. Feel free to leave a comment if you feel like it. Um, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed seeing my face, please feel free to subscribe. If you like this video, please leave it a like for engagements. And I just want to say thank you very much for your support. It's very, very lovely to see it, and I really appreciate that people enjoy my videos and my faults, even though I can be a bit critical very often, rather. Thank you very much for watching.